The anxiety level was up to here. Hi everybody. It has been a hot minute since I've made a video. And I wanted to make one for the big race I did that I talked about all summer, the Hennepin 50 mile, which was in October. I know, it's December. I'm really sorry. Anyway, probably because I'm still wrapping my head around it that I did it. But let's back up and give you a little race recap. This time, Stanley was fine on our trip. No problems. He was a champ. We made it to bib pickup, plenty of time. We picked up our bib, met up with my running group, which was fun. There were several of them. They were doing the 100. I was the only one doing the 50. But we met up, took some pictures, which you'll see here. And I didn't read things correctly. And I thought I was to camp at the 100-mile finish line. No. Thank goodness. Amy from our running group said, no, dearie, pretty sure you have to go somewhere else. Looked it up online. Sure enough, my 50-mile finish was at a different location. And the wonderful thing about this, even though it was, a mistake, it turned out really good. Because in Illinois, along the canal we were running, they have free camping. And so I got there. There was one gentleman there with his grandkids. He says he comes in with them every year to watch the finish. And that was it. And that is also where our shuttle picked us up in the morning to take us to our start line. So even though I got there after dark, I couldn't really, I couldn't see the surroundings. I mean, I had a fire pit, picnic table, free. It was amazing. And it was only maybe not even 50 yards from the finish line. So anyway, got settled in, went to bed, got up, had a bagel, some coffee, got ready, got on the shuttle. Shuttle's almost ready to leave, and I realized because they didn't want us to put our bibs on our packs. So I had put mine on a racing belt. I left it in Stanley. And they were so nice. They were like, oh, we got a couple minutes before we have to leave. Run back and get it. So I literally sprinted back and got it. And want to talk about, spiking the heart rate. The anxiety level was up to here. It's like, okay, I've done 2 things wrong here. Please don't be a sign. So anyway, we shuttled up 50 miles and they dropped us off at a park. Sorry, can't remember the name of the park. Anyway, the 100-milers also started there. It was cold. I don't want to say it was misting. It was foggy. There you go. It was foggy, cold. I had worn my arm sleeves, a cotton shirt. So basically my arms were pretty well covered. Shorts, my pack. And I am so thankful. Out of all the things that helped me throughout the day, those arm sleeves were critical. The heat ended up getting up to 90 degrees. and this trail is exposed. It goes right along the canal. It's well used recreationally, so it's totally exposed. We start feeling pretty good. I picked up a friend right away, or I should say running buddy friend, and I don't remember her name. I want to say it was Michelle, but I don't remember. We just started chit-chatting immediately, and we kind of bonded over doing triathlons. She says to me, she goes, "So do you have a racing plan?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you mind telling me what it is?" I said, "Well, I'm going to try to just run a good 11:30 pace for the first 20 miles. I said, then we're going to go to walk run. And I said, I'm going to try to spend less than 90 seconds in each of there were 10 with one pop-up, 8 stations. So she was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea to me. I'll run with you. Like, okay. So it was actually really great having her because it kept me on pace, kept me going, and it was cool. So I wanted to get as much ground covered as I could, being that it was cool. And so anyway, we ran through a couple aid stations. They usually had the aid stations anywhere between 4 and 7 miles apart. And they were great. They had those volunteers, mwah, chef's kiss. They were so good. So then, at 20 miles, it's, of course, it started heating up. And so I said goodbye to my friend because she was like, I'm going to run as long as I can run. I thought, okay, you go, girl. And so she took off on her own, and I implemented my run-walk strategy, which at that time was I'm going to run for 7 minutes, walk for 3. And that worked actually pretty good. Kept doing that. My friend Kathy, who was, cheering me on my phone out in Wyoming, she's cheering me on, and she's kind of keeping track of everything. And anyway, it just kept heating up. I mean, it was getting roasty out there. And so each aid station, I'd have them fill up my arm sleeves with ice. And so that was the lifesaver. I can't even stress how much that was a lifesaver, was having those arm sleeves full of ice. Just game changer. Anyway, got to, I'm trying to think. I believe the aid station was around 38, and my stomach, the first one at like 32, my stomach was okay. I was eating, I was still drinking. But when I hit the aid station at mile 38, my gut had, no, I don't want anything sweet. Nothing. I mean, my gels, just blah. My hydration, blah. I didn't want anything. My life's goal right then was to avoid projectile vomiting. That was my goal at that moment. So, the aid station at mile 38, I dumped out my hydration, filled up my hydration bottles with just water, straight water. Again, filled the arm sleeves with ice. They had Rolaids. Took a handful of Rolaids and a couple cups of Coke, hoping that acid would just basically eat the acid in my stomach. That was what I lived on from mile 38 to 50. Was Coke, Rolaids, water. I couldn't even think about anything. I will say once I got to the aid station at, want to say it was the pop-up aid station. That's what it was. It was the pop-up aid station. And they had some broth. It was like at mile 43, something like that. They had broth. And I did manage to get down some broth. They also had Fireball, which, no, I did not drink. But they had them in little bottles. And they were like, here, take some. So I stuffed them in my pack. Why not? It'll be painkiller for later. So anyway, I had crossed a timing mat. That was the one problem. I thought they had more timing mats, but they only had 2 timing mats. So Kathy, I had passed one, and she said, you're in first place. And I had seen a woman that I was sure was in my age group. And I'm like, then she had, I was like, no, I think she's ahead of me. And Kathy's like, well, I don't know, but you're in first place. And by this time, it's getting dark. Here comes my next mistake. Was I didn't bring a headlamp. Didn't even think about it. Not at all. But what I did bring was the backup battery chargers, little ones from Amazon, little chibis, that I had charged one and put it into my pack. And so I pulled out my phone, hooked the little battery charger up to it, which actually was nice because I was able to hold it. And that was my headlamp. I know I've got so many runners that are going to comment in the bottom. Oh, girl, really? That is such a rookie mistake. Yeah, I know. So anyway, I do that. Well, okay, this is not a mistake. This is just what I could afford in gear. I have an old Garmin 920 XT, which the battery life is about 13 hours. And the last 5 miles, every couple minutes it would say low battery charge. And I couldn't see my screen unless I start. So I'm trying to hold my phone. I'm trying to stop my watch. And running in the dark, trying to see my footing. Hot mess. I am like, but I'm close. I know I'm close. And so anyway, when you come in, you have to do a little out and back, which is like 1.5 miles out and back. So you go right past the finish line. Let me tell you, that's a mind screw up right there. It's like, the finish line's right there, but I got to go that way. And so we did that. It was very dark. And the lady that I swore was in my age group, when I was on my out, she was coming in. And Kathy's going, no, you're in first. And I'm like, I know, I think, anyway. So we do that, come into the finish line. It was amazing. Come in, and the volunteers go, okay, we got some things for you, which I knew I was going to get a medal and a Virgin No More 50-mile shirt. So I knew I was getting those. And I was hoping I had podium because, like I said, I thought that lady in front of me was in my age group. And anyway, they go, what can we get you? I said, a beer. And they just started laughing and promptly got me a beer, which was the best beer on earth. And I know you're going to say, with your stomach? Yeah. That was cold and carbs and it wasn't sweet. So anyway, they got me my beer. They come up. They give me my medal. Look at this medal. I mean, the thing is huge and heavy. Gorgeous, isn't it? Anyway, I also got the Virgin No More shirt. And a surprise. First place in my age group for females. And I got third place. I didn't get anything for it, but third place overall, male and female, in my age group. I'm so proud of this. And so I'm still wrapping my head around things. But anyway, go back. After they handed me everything, they were so sweet. They took pictures, which you'll see. And they said, "Do you need help getting to a finisher's tent?" I said, "No, I'm good. Take care of the other people coming across the line." So I hobbled down to the finisher's tent, and I had finished the beer. I mean, I know, not the best for hydration, but let me tell you, it was the best beer in the universe. And they said, "Well, what would you like next? You know, we got food and stuff." I said, "Could I have another beer?" They just laughed. They got me another beer. And they said, "We got apple pie." And my stomach was like, "No sweets, no." I said, "No, I can't handle sweet." They said, "Well, we have meatball subs." I was like, "I could try that." They gave me a meatball sub, which was amazing. And I sat there for a little bit. Another lady come through, younger lady, and she was roughing it pretty hard. Me, it's like I had gotten a second wind crossing that line. And I think it was just all adrenaline kicking in, going, "You did it. You did it. Your first 50 mile, and you got first place." I mean, the adrenaline had just kind of kicked back in, and I got a second win. I did sit there for a little bit, and they gave me a third beer. Bless their hearts. And I hobbled, like I said, Stanley was like right there. Hobbled to him. Yes, there were no showers or anything, so, but I have a portable shower in Henry that you hang outside. And so literally still in my run clothes, I just doused myself, and then went inside and cleaned up a little bit more with wet wipes and stuff. And those little fireball things I had gotten, yeah, I took. And so it was liquid painkiller. Then I took off my shoes and my socks. My feet were unrecognizable. I mean, the blisters, yeah, unrecognizable. So, my takeaways from all of this: it was an amazing race. It was a day of problem solving, overcoming challenges, and literally belief in myself that I could do this. In the heat, it was hard because there were a lot of people dropping. A lot of people, because the heat was just really bad. But I made it through, and I problem solved. So I'm really super proud of that. And the other thing is do big scary goals. That is my big takeaway. Because that is something, when you achieve a big scary goal, that's not anything anybody can take away from you. They can't downplay it. That's your big scary goal, and you did it. So, I would say, anybody, choose a big scary goal. And you know what else? I'm going back to here's a little announcement. 2025, I am going back. I think I can run it better. Get a hold of, which I actually did figure out my GI issues that I've had all summer, which I'll go into another video on because you probably don't want to hear about that right now. But I figured that out. I think I can run it faster. And I know I've had some people go, well, wait a minute. You won your age group. What do you go find a different race? I think I can run it faster and do it better. That's what I want to do. I want to run it faster and do it better. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Follow along. I'll be doing a video soon on my goals. There, I got a lot of big, scary goals for 2025. So follow along, and you know what? Have a fierce life.